if you're getting into silver strictly to make money, you're in it for the wrong reasons.
You're buying a bucket of bits?
Wait, watch this.
Yes, Yankee, I'm buying a bucket of bits.
That's awesome. What does local silver mint run into with their refineries?
Yankee, I was kind of scared you were going to ask this question. There are two things that caused a third thing. A friend of mine who's deep into defense industry, and he reached out to me to tell me,
buy your precious metals online from SD Bullion. New customers get gold and silver at spot by visiting sdbullion.com/new.
I'm learning a little bit about silver today.
Is it the first time here at the local silver mint?
Yes, sir, it is.
I just started, so I grabbed a couple things last time I was here, and I'll plan on grabbing more.
I was showing him about a token that I keep with me. It's a 1863 slave token. Got it from my wife's grandfather.
Wow.
And I carry it with me. Gives me a bit of history and always a reminder of where you come from. You know, so never erase who we were in our past, because if we do, it repeats itself.
You're looking for something?
Yep, I want to get my son a silver eagle for the birth year, and maybe something to keep in my pocket today.
Wow, that's great. Hey, I want to give you a Yankee stacking sticker.
Please.
There you go. Thanks for checking out my channel.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Nice to meet you. You're in at Silver Days buying or selling?
Gold. We're buying gold today.
Buying gold. Mike.
Yep.
Selling her some gold?
You know, we like silver, but we like gold too.
Absolutely.
Doing a gold sale.
Show me what you get.
Here you go. I got a 1/10 Canadian Wildlife Series.
Oh yeah. 1/10, very nice.
The market's down a little bit. It's always a good time to buy, up or down. When the market's up, you still buy. When the market's down, you still buy. You're in a dollar cost average at some point. It's going to work out, so it's all good.
How did you learn about this?
Yankee stacking online, of course.
Oh, no. No, seriously.
My daughter early on got me into stacking, and then got me to growing, and then follow you and Silver Dave and others online. So it's always informative to stay on top of the market and see what you guys are doing. Again, it's good to be informed.
Wow. Usually hear the other way around. The parents are trying to get the kids in, teach them, and the kids might not be interested. This is incredible.
Yeah. She's fully aware about where money comes from and what is actually money. So she's very well versed in history and what is real money, what isn't.
See, that's very important, right? To teach our children what real money is and the value of gold and silver, because when we pass it on, I've seen this so many times, I'm sure Silver Dave has seen it a lot, where people just walk in and say, hey, I got all this metal from my grandparents and my parents. I don't know what it is. I just want to get rid of it, right?
Exactly. There's a lot more youth stacking, which is good to see. You love to see it. Yeah. Homeschoolers and people around, so this is good. I think things are cycling back to what is real money. Mm-hmm. So she's been stacking since 3, 4, and on. Got me into stacking, and then now she's stacking right along with us. The Tooth Fairy helped her.
That's pretty unbelievable. We must have the same Tooth Fairy. My niece and nephew also got left silver.
What is she stacking?
Silver rounds. She loves buffaloes. And now she's diversifying, getting a little older. Now she's getting into grams and tenths. So Christmas is coming.
And what's your exit strategy? Are you looking to sell that 1/10 gold coin back for fiat currency anytime soon? Are you holding it or what?
If nothing bad happens in the future, I could pass it down to my family. That's ultimately the big goal.
I love that sweatshirt.
Me too, likewise.
That's great. Well, thank you. I appreciate you taking the time. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
See.
Now that the price has gone high enough, people even in the mainstream are talking about silver and gold, and even kind of common regular people are starting to think about silver and gold, and so a lot of new people are coming in. We've actually seen an influx in younger ladies and even younger men coming in and buying silver. A lot of new people are getting into silver now too. Right. It's very exciting. I think that on one hand, there's some people who are seeing silver as a vehicle to make money, and if you're getting into silver strictly to make money, you're in it for the wrong reasons. Not to say that you might not make money. You might make money with silver, but there's a period of time where the silver price is going up in dollars, and at some point you're like, okay, now we've made money. But then as they print more dollars and it goes up and up, Well, now there comes a point where you're not going to make money anymore necessarily, because to get the money out of it, if you plan to make dollars, you got to sell it back for hyperinflating dollars, and now those dollars lose half of their value the next day after you get them. So if you really want to get the most value from your silver, you got to be prepared to spend your silver for stuff. And that's what silver, gold, and copper coins were meant to be. It was never supposed to be Wall Street. It was just money. The big beautiful bill adds $5 trillion to the spending over the next 12 months. They were spending $6.5 trillion. They only had $4.9 trillion in revenue. Now they're going to be spending $11.5 trillion. All that debt has to go into the books, which also adds even more interest on the debt, which they couldn't pay for either. So I think you're right to say that they can't. I don't see how they could deflate the currency without stopping paying for things.
Right.
And so I would not be surprised. 2026 might be really crazy financially, and that's why, to me, you want to have your money in something that holds a value. Silver, it goes up in dollars, but you don't want to use dollars as your exit strategy for silver.
No. You want this. And primarily this as a store of value, store of wealth, a protection, as well as a means of exchange. So Dave, we've talked about this before, and we've talked about it quite a bit, actually, that silver could very well be used for barter and trade in an economic collapse. No, we've talked
No way.
Well, I get a lot of pushback, right? I get people saying, oh, Yankee, come on, that'll never happen. And another group says, wow, why do you want silver? You're going to want food, water, you're going to want what's strapped to me right now, and you're going to want bullets. You're going to want a whole host of other stuff. That's crazy, Yankee.
The problem is that if you want to trade eggs for hammers or chickens for mayonnaise, it's hard to do that. Mayonnaise. Anyway, these guys. Anyway, so I won't make any mayonnaise jokes, but we're gonna. So basically, just that silver, gold, and copper, they last forever on the shelf. And so it's a universal way to buy stuff. So yeah, people are like, oh, I'm not going to use my silver as what it was meant to be used for. Okay, fine. Trade like medium pants for like the food you need at the grocery store, and you like hopefully you'll find a guy that has the same like belt line as you and the same like pant leg length, and you're like, yeah, I want to trade you these like Jordache jeans for, and of course Jordache, they're like, I don't wear those since 1977. I know I made that joke. That was just for fun. So, but the thing is that silver and gold is universal, and so that yeah, you could stack bananas, but bananas will spoil, and not everyone wants bananas, and they're hard to transport and store. So silver, gold, copper have been used for thousands of years as a way to buy stuff, and because they're so useful even to keep, that's what gives them the value. The thing is that the spot price is fake. The spot price is fake. It's based on 400 paper contracts for every 1 ounce of silver that exists. And so I think that, Yankee, you were talking a little while ago about the oil. There was a brief period of time where they had barrels of oil and the price was like -$70 or -$40 a barrel.
$40 a barrel for a brief period.
But you couldn't actually buy the oil for -$40 a barrel.
And they did have to give you money along with the oil. It's insane to even think of, right?
So at some point, there may come a time where the spot price of silver is one number, but no one's willing to sell it to you for that.
Exactly.
So,
you can't get it.
Yeah, the spot price of silver is derived from the futures contracts. It's highly manipulated. They sell almost 400 ounces of silver on paper for every 1 ounce of silver produced. You can't trust it. And then it goes back to, what's your exit strategy? Is your exit strategy to get back out of silver and into hyperinflating dollars? Or is your plan to get out of some silver and buy a chunk of land somewhere? Or better yet, maybe that's what your gold is for. And if you want to buy a dozen eggs, you probably don't want to pay with gold. Maybe a little tenth of silver might be the thing. And that's why we've been so fixated on little silver bits for barters and trades. And people thought we were so crazy. But now, for the past year, as we've sold millions of these things, now people are starting to get the point. And as the price of silver goes up, it becomes even more important to have that divisibility. Don't exit your silver back into central bank currency. You're going to want silver ready. You don't even need the internet. You just hand it to a guy or a gal and they give you something back. We have sold over $1 million in silver per week for several weeks. We've literally been doing over $1 million a week in silver sales just in the past few weeks. We've been record sales volume, and all kinds of new people have been coming in.
Right.
And it's so interesting to see the new people coming in. On one hand, yes, I think there's a lot of new people that are tantalized by the potential of making money.
Sure.
But I think that there's a lot of new people who see the writing on the wall. And part of the way that I know that is that we've been selling loads of silver bits. We had a lady come in and spend $100,000 on silver bits last week, just silver bits. She said, here's $100,000 silver bits. And if you didn't notice that the silver bits aren't for sale online, because we don't have enough to sell to the dealers, we've only been able to keep up with our retail sales of silver bits. It's been astronomical. We have extra guys doing production right now just to try to keep up with our silver bits production. And I was in Las Vegas for 2 weeks, and I spent over $350,000 in Las Vegas. Now, if you want to know what I spent the money on, $350,000 plus in Las Vegas, if you want to know, then you should check out one of our videos on the local Silver Mint YouTube channel. Check out our video, local Silver Mint YouTube in Las Vegas, and you can find out what we spent the money on. One of the things that I experienced in Las Vegas was that I had a taxi cab driver who was wearing a slave mask, and I don't know why, but I have guesses and things, and I don't know, but we had a conversation, and somehow silver came up, and silver bits came up, and then when I explained to her the purpose of silver bits, that use it to buy stuff regardless of the condition of the financial system or internet access, and she was like, oh, that makes so much sense. I think there's a huge financial catastrophe coming. She said, that makes so much sense. And so here's this person is wearing the slave mask, and yet she totally got it.
Yeah.
She saw that as makes total sense to her. And one of the things that I think is happening also is that regular people, not just like the conservatives and libertarians, who really the conservatives have been the top silver stackers. Now you got people who are not necessarily conservatives. They might be even, I think, possibly even Democrats and liberals might even get into silver and gold now.
I know of some, yep.
And a lot of them, like, they don't trust the establishment, so they see this as an alternative. But I think a lot of regular people are getting into this. And I was just so amazed to see a person wearing that apparatus, driving a taxi, and yet she totally got it. She's like, oh man, this thing, it's going bad. I want, it made so much sense. And I think we're starting to see a lot more people like that.
Yep. I have to ask people in line several times, how much would you take for that silver that you bought? Can I give you 100? Can I give you 2? And most of the time, those stackers look at me and go, no way, man. I'm not. That to me is the real value, the real price.
And well, now, when you can ask them that question, now when they know that if you gave them $100 for their ounce of silver, they could go and they could see us or Tim and they could buy 2 of them.
Exactly,
but
they could. Right.
Now, what's your answer to that question when you can't buy another ounce of silver with it? When you've got an ounce of silver and a guy says, okay, here's 100. Here's $500, but you can't go to Tim's place, you can't come here, you can't call SD Bullion and buy it because everyone's out of silver. Then how much are you going to give it away for?
See, now, I don't know if this is something that you've experienced, but I've been hearing that it's getting harder to get certain products like eagles and maples and things like that. In fact, here's another way to price what silver really is and not in the futures markets. Go to eBay. Check out what a monster box is going for. I did. Before I got here, you would pay around, what, 52, 53 as of, today, per eagle for a monster box, if you were willing to wait to December to get it on eBay. I saw this. I'll throw it up on the screen. Then I saw another eBay. I said, oh, no. We'll get it to you within days. And I looked and I calculated the price per eagle, $72.
Woo!
If you wanted it now. Now, I just feel like that kind of shows at some point, it could be next to impossible to get a hold of this stuff. when we really need it.
We have many different tiers of strategy to get the silver, and we are already thinking about them because people keep bringing it up to me. They're like, Dave, what are we going to do? And we want to keep getting silver because we want to keep pumping out the product that we make, silver bits. And in fact, with our new factory, we need a lot of ounces. Right. So in turn, we really have to think about how we're going to source the silver, and it is a legitimate concern, but all the more reason why it's a very finite resource.
That's the bucket?
Yep. This is heavy.
Oh, come on, Mike. Very nice. You're buying a bucket of bits?
Wait, watch this.
Yes, Yankee, I'm buying a bucket of bits. Why not?
No, I just want to know. What's
because
the
the
purpose?
goldbacks wrinkle.
The goldbacks wrinkle. That's so funny. So you do have goldbacks, you'd rather have bits.
I do, and I'd rather have bits.
More durable.
Do you think? Yeah.
Goldback goes, I'm sorry, Goldback, but when the Goldback goes into your washing machine, it comes out, it's wrecked. The gold flakes out of it. Silver bits goes in your washing machine, it comes out, it's exactly the same.
I would rather have silver to barter with, to trade with, to actually use as money. What do you think?
I like silver as money. I don't know how we got away from it, frankly.
Yeah. So this is adding to your prep.
Adding to my prep, why not?
Good for you.
Right.
Do you have other silver that you would barter with as well? Is it not just bits or just bits?
I have silver rounds.
Very good.
Buy silver bits instead of 100-ounce bars.
Honestly, I would never even consider a bar that big. I don't know what I'd do with it. The barters, the bits are a 1/10, much better, much more efficient, much more usable.
You see trading these for stuff.
Absolutely. Bread, milk.
Just what we've been talking about.
Money.
Bread, milk, did you hear that?
That's what you have to do. You have to remind people that it's money.
Okay, some of the cynics watching are going to say, this is all set up, Yankee. You had her come in to buy. No, I honestly had no idea that you were going to be buying that much bits, and neither did your husband. Oh, truth comes out. Your husband okay
He'll
with
be
that?
happy when there's bread in the cupboard, though.
He likes to eat food,
Usually
which
we
is...
hear the opposite. We hear the husband's here, and
Yeah.
that he's saying the wife, she doesn't
Right.
really get it.
Yeah.
You know.
This is refreshing.
Right.
I love this. So you have these dispensers?
These are ag mags, and she is getting herself a few, dispensers. It's an easy, convenient way to store, carry, and dispense silver bits. So I'm just loading up a few for her.
One of our mutual, friend of Mike's, a friend of all of us actually. He also, is a major silver stacker. He decided to create this particular product, and he's essentially started an entire business just making an accessory for our product. The Ag Mag, we've sold loads and loads of them. He's sold, I think almost 6 figures worth of these things that he's sold in the past 6 months or so. And he's been reducing the cost, improving the quality, and people have been buying these like crazy.
You create a stack of 25 silver bits. Just go right over them. You put the follower in. You put the spring in. Then you put your set screw back in. One finger dispensing,
It really is. Awesome.
Thank you for being a customer and buying our product. I really appreciate that.
Thank you, Dave.
Absolutely amazing product you make there.
Less than the price of an American Silver Eagle and 10 times better for barters and trades. And so also, how do silver bits compare to dimes? Well, first of all, I like silver bits a lot better, and here's why. First of all, silver bits are pure silver instead of 90%. Silver bits says the word silver on it. A dime does not. Thirdly, no one wants the dimes. No one's buying them from us. Everyone wants to sell them to us. No one wants to buy them, especially not the refineries.
Oh, yeah.
And then the other thing is a common person doesn't know the difference between a silver dime and a regular dime, but when you hand them silver bits, they look at it and they instantly know what it is. So, if your goal is to buy the cheapest possible silver, buy 1,000-ounce bars. But if you want silver you can spend for a smidge more money, silver bits is the answer. And also, if you want a better barter tool, you pay a little bit more money and you get it. Note, If you don't do that and you want to buy the cheapest thing, well, plan to overpay when you go to barter with it. And it's easier math. I'll tell you what, the math,
Yes, the
you
math.
probably can't even tell me how much silver is in a silver dime. Every time I ask the question, people are like, oh, 90%. No, how many grams of silver or how many ounces? No one knows. Silver bits, everyone knows. It's a tenth of an ounce.
Yep.
It's so easy. If you give a silver dime to a waitress, she's going to throw that thing away. But when she sees silver bits, she instantly knows what it is.
So
It's a better barter
I
tool.
get it. I get it. One more question I got to ask you, and that is the refineries. We've been hearing a lot about refineries not taking silver, and I'm curious to know what's going on with local silver mint in your refinery.
Yankee, I have a download on this that I don't think you've heard before. Basically, we have had the refinery inform us that they have limited their purchasing of silver. And so I needed to dig into this more. And then a friend of mine who's deep into defense industry, and he reached out to me to tell me something. There are two things that caused a third thing. And the two things are that first, there's a defense company that is building an enormous amount of missiles that require 4 and 5 nines silver, which requires a lot of refining and a lot of nitric acid. Simultaneously, when the silver price was pushing close to 50, people were selling in huge numbers and the refineries were overloaded processing and refining the silver, causing them to consume more nitric acid as well. And if you didn't know, nitric acid is necessary for silver refining. So the combination of these missiles being produced needing 4 and 5 nines silver, combined with the massive influx of silver getting sent to the refineries, caused the refineries to use up all the nitric acid around the world. And so the nitric acid has gone, there's a shortage of nitric acid now, and so it caused so that the refineries couldn't keep up with the refining because they couldn't get the nitric acid. And so they've had to pause their buying because they couldn't process silver.
I've never heard this. Wow.
So this guy that told me about this is deep in defense.
I mean, you used to be special ops. I mean, you know, you've got contacts, which is pretty cool.
Yes, and when this guy talks, I listen. The refineries were buying 999 silver, but they would not buy 90% silver because the 90% silver required a lot of nitric acid. But 999 silver, they could melt it, assay, confirm purity, and send it out.
That's why they didn't want alloyed silver. Same
That's
thing
right.
with sterling?
Correct, but 90% is even worse than sterling because it requires more nitric acid to dissolve the copper out of it. What it means is that there's a limitation to how much silver can be refined and produced. And if we know that there's a huge potential demand both for industrial, for the liquid cooled data processing centers that they want to build, combined with new people coming into silver, it doesn't take much before everything is gone, and that nitric acid requires resources to produce. So with that being said, it kind of puts like a limiter switch on this thing. So with that, that has a lot to do with why the refiners are not producing silver and not buying silver because they can't process it. It's a crazy situation.